Hiya mums, right, today we're diving deep into an issue that impacts almost every teenage girl, the influence of social media. If you're a mum watching your daughter grow up in this digital age, you've possibly wondered how social media is affecting her mental health and self-image. You've possibly already seen those effects, and you're right to be concerned. Using insights from Jonathan Haidt's The Anxious Generation and Lisa Hinkleman's The Girls Index, we're going to break down how these platforms are affecting our teen girls' development from a physiology first perspective. And yes, those gurus that invent these platforms know exactly how to connect to our teenage girls. So let's start with what we do know. So Jonathan Haidt points out that around 2012, there was a marked increase in anxiety and depression-like symptoms amongst our teenagers, especially our girls. Coincidentally, this aligns with the rise of social media platforms like Instagram and Snapchat. Says it all, really. So why are girls more affected than boys? The answer isn't as simple as just the fact that they're on screen more often. It's about social media changes the way they perceive themselves and interact with their world within themselves. And that is massive. So Lisa Hinkleman's The Girls Index shares some alarming statistics. 1 in 3 girls says she feels anxious almost every day. Now that is massive. And nearly 40% of those girls feel pressured to be perfect. That's insane. Social media amplifies this pressure by creating a space where likes, shares and comments are equated with her self-worth. So for girls already working their way through puberty and those significant brain development changes, the stakes are incredibly high. So let's consider how this ties into their physiology. How it affects them at their very core. So from a physiology first approach, the teenage brain is in a state of rapid development, as we already know, especially that prefrontal cortex that I've talked about time and time again, which manages decision making and impulse control. Add social media into that mix and you've got a recipe for chronic stress. Notifications and the need for validation trigger the release of dopamine, that feel-good hormone. And whilst that sounds positive, the over-reliance on this external validation can set up a constant cycle of anticipation and letdown when expectations aren't met. This can lead to the long-term changes in how their brain handles stress and self-esteem, and it's up to us and her to help her break that cycle. So now, why is this especially significant for our girls? Well, girls are more likely than boys to internalise their emotions, and this is due to their female brain, which means they often turn negative feelings towards themselves rather than expressing them outwardly, which means she goes into self-destruct modes of behaviour instead of physical. On social media, this can manifest as constant comparisons against other people, jealousy and body dissatisfaction. Imagine seeing highlighted reels of perfectly curated photos day in, day out. For a teenage girl trying to figure out who she is, this constant comparison can be toxic and soul-destroying as a mum. And it's not just an emotional response, it's a physiological one too. So prolonged exposure to these stresses can activate the body's fight or flight response. So that's, the saber-toothed tiger, possibly not there in front of them, but it releases cortisol. It releases adrenaline, the 2 stress hormones. And high levels of these 2 hormones over time can disrupt sleep, affect her digestion, and make it even harder for our girls to manage their emotions. This kind of stress isn't just a one time, it's layer upon layer, which influences their development and their ability to focus, learn and grow. Then there's the impact on their body image. Jonathan Haidt and Lisa Hinkleman both note that social media heightens girls' awareness of their bodies, often in seriously unhealthy ways. The constant exposure to edited and filtered images sets an impossible standard. A physiology first perspective reminds us that during the teenage years, girls are naturally more sensitive to peer feedback because their female brains are wired to prioritise social relationships. This heightened sensitivity combined with a platform that encourages that comparison is a breeding ground for insecurity and lack of self-esteem and high rates of anxiety. And what happens when girls start to internalise these feelings and these unrealistic expectations? They control. They try to control aspects of their life in unhealthy ways. So restricting food intake, restricting fluid intake, skipping meals, over-exercising, self-destructing behaviours against themselves, all to fit an ideal they see online. This isn't just about wanting to look a certain way, it's about trying to gain a sense of control in an environment that constantly shifts the goalposts. For some girls, this can lead to disordered eating patterns, as I said, self-destruct behaviours, or exacerbate conditions like anxiety and depression. So mums, before we dive into the practical steps that I want to give you so you can help your daughter yourself work through the social media landscape, I want to share something really important. If you're feeling the weight of supporting your teenage daughter throughout these complex challenges of the teenage years, I've put together a mum's survival kit just for you. This kit includes valuable tools like a mood tracker, which is designed to help both you and your daughter identify emotional patterns, connect more deeply, and build strategies into your life and hers to maintain that healthy relationship with social media and beyond throughout her life. It's a game changer, and I've used it with my own teenage daughter, and this is how I designed it myself. So now let's move on to how we can use this information we just digested to create a healthier environment for our teen girls. So what can we do? First, have an open conversations about social media and its effects. Use the information that is in both the Anxious Generation and the Girls Index as starting points. Also, Ruling Our Experiences, which is the Girls Index website, is also a great starting point. Teach your daughter that what she sees online isn't the full picture. Empower her with the understanding that it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to unfollow toxic people. It's okay to disconnect. And as part of this, help her to establish healthy boundaries around her screen time. So encourage her to engage in activities such as my wonderful glow groups that promote positive body awareness and self-worth using the physiology first approach. For example, breathwork practices, regular physical activity that she enjoys, and joining those supportive communities with other like-minded teens around them can make a massive difference to her self-esteem and well-being. So for more information about the glow groups, check out the link below. And don't forget, model this behaviour yourself. When she sees you stepping back and managing your relationship with technology, she learns it's possible and beneficial for her. So if you're looking for more ways to support your daughter and share experiences with other mums going through the same things as you, topics like these and way more who understand, join the Mum to Mum Connection. It's a space where we can come together, share challenges and uplift each other whilst learning strategies rooted in empathy, rooted in physiology and science. For more information, click on the link below. So remember, the influence of social media is significant, but so is the power of a supportive, informed mum. Together, we can navigate this journey and help our teenage daughters to thrive. So yeah, you take care and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.